Hello! Today is a little special video for Touhou Fantasy. I just want to talk about all of these reviews and criticism that's been getting, because some of the criticism is just, I don't know. I really don't know. So let's just go through some of the stuff and see what some of the problem might be. Now, as some of you may know already, I've been working on Touhou Fantasy for about 4 years now in RPG Maker 2003. I've been doing it almost solo. I've had some help here and there from other people, which I thank them for their help. For those who actually did help, didn't just outright disappear on me. But one of the things that I'm hearing a lot, and I've heard this throughout the years too, is why haven't I been making my own music or been doing my own spriting? Well, for one, I am not a spriter. I did some sprite editing in Mugen for about a year. It wasn't working out very well. I wasn't getting anywhere with that, so that didn't go anywhere. I'm just not a spriter. I'm not good at it. And I can't make music. I don't know how to make music. I can't carry a tune. I'm tone deaf when it comes to music. It's just not happening. And I don't have all the time in the world to do everything myself. Now, that probably leads into the next one of, why don't you have people helping you? Which I've been asked a lot. And I've been trying to get people to help for the past 4 years. I've gotten a couple people here and there who left the project because of other reasons. But for the most part, I've not had any luck with getting anyone. Right now, I have a mapper who's trying to do the next dungeon for me before he works on his game, and then he'll be working on Beta 1 maps later. I'll get to mapping later on. And I have my original concept artist back, who's kind of working on Hope's battle sprites, but other than that, I have no one else helping. Aside from Seth MKT doing a Let's Play of the game, which I appreciate. At least he's fair in his criticisms and whatnot. But, other than that, no luck with getting people to help. So, there's that. And another one that, I don't know why everyone keeps telling me this, is to switch from 2003 to DX Ace. I can understand DX Ace has more versatility than 2003. But for one, I don't want to have to redo everything. Because 4 years of work happen to be redone in a completely new engine, which I don't even know if it can use 2003 resources to begin with, and the coding is different than 2003. I don't know if it's C++ or Ruby or what. But you're asking one person to redo an entire game in a completely different maker. On top of that, I don't have the money to buy this. I could probably find it somewhere on the internet, but I'm not gonna torrent it either. Because, I don't like to sit there forever and wait for a torrent to get done. But really, if you guys really want to see it in DX Ace, then why don't you help me put it in there instead of relying on just me to put it all in there myself? It'd make it go by a lot faster. It would give everyone what they want instead of constantly barking at me and do it myself when I'm already doing enough work as is. Now granted, again, I don't have all time in the world to do this. I have a lot of time on hand, sure, but I got other things I like to do. I'm not making any money off of this game, guys. This game I started because I wanted to share a story with everyone, with some gameplay. And don't give me the crap of, oh, why don't you do fanfic instead? No, I ain't gonna get the point across the same way. It really isn't. Now, another thing that has been brought up, which I could just somewhat understand, is the graphics. Outside of Battle for characters, graphics are generally universal. Inside, the playable characters are mostly the same. I say mostly because not everyone has sprites and not everyone has the same sprite style. Now, I think most complaints are with the graphics of the skills, which some of them do need redone, I know, but not every single one is bad. And you have to keep in mind, people, I'm limited on what I can do. Even the VX Ace, I believe you're limited on what you can do with animations. If I wasn't using 2009, I would be limited at 25 sprites per sprite sheet per animation. With 2009, that's increased to 150 sprites. So I can do more with sprites and animations, but you have to keep in mind, I'm still limited to 8 sprites per frame. So I cannot go more than 8 sprites. Which is probably part of the problem that people are barking at me about. And I think the other thing that they're barking about is, I don't know why I'm saying barking, but is the enemy sprites are not the same, really, which I can't really do nothing about. Again, I'm not a spriter, I can't find anyone to help on the project, so I'm forced to use whatever I can get my hands on right now. Now, let's go on with some of these reviews and such. Like, I asked for a review earlier on rmrk.net, and it was more of a pre-game review. Now, the person says that the game, according to my LP, is around 30 hours for half the game. So if it was fully done, it'd be about 60 hours without all the side quests. Now, I don't know what kind of RPG he's played, but every RPG I've ever played for the first time and whatnot has taken about 50 hours to complete, give or take. Yet he says 60 hours is way too long for an RPG, even for a hardcore gamer. What RPG is shorter than 50 hours on the first playthrough? I mean, if you're going through bare bones and not doing any of the side quests, then maybe. If you play for the game and you know what you're doing, then yeah. I could beat most of the Final Fantasy games in about 25 hours, but I know what I'm doing. I know how to break the game. The first time I played them, it took about 50 hours. So, I don't see how that is too long for an RPG. Especially when he says in this day and age, when you look at something like Final Fantasy 12, that took me 100 hours to just do everything. I mean, come on, give me a break, guy. And he brings up the mapping, which everyone has. I don't blame them. Beta 1 maps are not that great. You may be wondering, why haven't you redone them yet? Because I don't know what I want to do with them, really. Like Misty Lake, the very first dungeon you go to in the game, got completely revamped by my current mapper. I haven't really heard much of a feedback on that dungeon, but the next dungeon, well, after Misty Lake, you go to Scarlet Devil Mansion, which is a dungeon in itself later, but Scarlet Devil Mansion is not a very good map. It's very big, it's very empty. I just never got around to putting in more fairy mages or anything, but I have tried to redo that place about 4 times, and I just can't get it right. I don't know what's wrong. It's like I'm trying to make it like an actual mansion, but I don't know. I just can't get it to look right. I'll be having my mapper try that whenever. Hopefully he'll make it better. And hopefully the events don't get all screwed up, but yeah, there's that. The Forest of Magic, which is the second dungeon, is basically one big map. Now, I've thought about revamping it, but really I don't think it's that bad. It's still the early parts of the game. It's still a tutorial dungeon, basically, so I don't know what's wrong here. Now, Bamboo Forest is where most complaints are going to come from because of the puzzles. I've gone away with the game over traps. That was a stupid idea to begin with. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. But now I'll take it back to the start of that map. I could make it to the save point, actually. I might do that. But really, it's not that bad. I just have to reword how one of the sign puzzles work. And it'll be fine, I think. I don't think Bamboo Forest is that bad. Now, ENA, which is basically the last dungeon of Beta 1, is terrible. I tried to make it into a puzzle dungeon, and it didn't work out very well. When I have to make a video to show the solution for a dungeon, that's saying it's not very good. So yeah, I'll get done, or I'll redone later. But yeah, there's that. Now, he suggests to split the game up in volumes. I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, it's just it is fine as one game. I mean, again, he says that 60 hours is too long, but that's average for an RPG, so maybe not for an RPG Maker game, but you know. I actually don't know how long Touhou Mugger is. But anyways, there's that. And on a side note, I don't think any of my actual friends care about Touhou Fantasy. So, break them up into this is just pointless because they'd rather me work on my actual story than this, but oh well. Moving along. Later on, I was searching Touhou Fantasy on Google, and I came across this on DeviantArt, which surprised me. And this is basically a guy doing a first impression on the game through watching himself's videos and basing it off of other reviews, which I wouldn't base anything off other reviews. I would base it off of myself. Now, the person here says that the story and gameplay ratio is a bit poorly balanced, saying that there's a lot of long dialogue-heavy cutscenes, which, you know, RPGs tend to have long dialogue-heavy cutscenes. Usually, that's how RPGs work. Now, he also says that a lot of gameplay consists of walking around wide open areas, many of which have gimmicks that are just plain annoying. Now, you're probably basing this off of Beta 1, which everyone bases this off of Beta 1. I don't think many have even gone past Beta 1. Which is the same, because Beta 2 onwards, I believe it's a lot better. People need to give it a bit more of a chance before just completely dropping it. If you're gonna do a review, at least play through the thing before doing a review. Unless it's just downright terrible, then... And I don't think the game is that terrible, personally. But some of the, like, wide open areas... Yeah, that tends to happen. I mean, Forest of Magic is wide open, but that's one map. Bamboo Forest is wide open, but that's more of a maze type area. Scarlet Devil Mansion is terrible, but that's wide open. Winter Forest is big and wide and open, but really, it's like what they want. They want tiny maps where you rarely get random encounters because they're tiny. I mean, really. Now, it brings up the visible pitfalls, which I already said was a bad idea. I'm gonna do something about that. Well, I already did Bamboo Forest. I just haven't done it in Yunhei. The door puzzles in Yunhei, again, it's Yunhei, it's terrible. Now, he brings up the swarms of the fairy maids and Hui clones, which, as part of the dungeon, there's no random encounters in Yunhei or the main part of Scarlet Devil Mansion. The fairy maids and Hui clones, those are your fights. You have no other random encounters, so I don't see what the problem is. You can easily avoid them too. Well, maybe not while escaping from Yunhei, but that's part of that gimmick. Now, he's saying that a lot of the cast is missing personality and depth, which I don't get. What's wrong with personality and depth? I think I'm doing a good job on that, at least. Like, he says that Reimu comes off as a bitch with no redeeming features. Reimu is not exactly a very nice person in canon. She's not completely mean, but she's not very nice. And that's something I brought into here. She can be nice, she has shown to be nice in Touhou Fantasy and in canon, but she's not always nice. So, I don't know what's wrong with the personality here. And he brings up the fact that there's Deus Ex Machina and Diablos Ex Machina, which I've never heard of Diablos Ex Machina, with mind control being because it's just about all the villain's actions and could be broken out of it by another character after you fight them. Well, you see, the whole gimmick with mind control is, yes, there's a lot of mind control. That's one of the biggest things. The only reason that it gets broken, and it's even mentioned in the story by Hope, is that they have to be weakened enough for Hope or anyone else to break it. And it just takes, it's not like she just be like, oh, it's broken. It still takes a lot just to break it. I mean, it's freaking Pandora. What can you're not gonna break Pandora's mind control that easily. And he brings up Yukari and questions what her motivation is. It's like, it's Yukari. When do you ever know what she's up to? It's like, come on. Now, this guy... Give me a second. Now... This guy, he, brings up that... He sees... He thinks... I gotta gather my thoughts. He says I claim that the game is Touhou Final Fantasy crossover. When I say that, I don't mean, oh, it's gonna have Cloud and Squall and Chocobos and Moogles. No, that's not what I mean. It's called Touhou Fantasy. It's mainly Touhou with Final Fantasy elements, mostly the gameplay. That's how it is. You're not gonna see Chocobos, you're not gonna see Moogles, or Sig, or Ultros, or all of that stuff. And he says that I don't have its spells or monsters, which I clearly do. If he has seen past the Beta 1, then yeah. Well, even in the Beta 1, you can see spells like Fire, Blizzard, Arrow, Cure. And... are there? Yeah, there's some enemy sprites used from, Final Fantasy V, I believe, in, Forest of Magic. I mean... I don't know what he's getting out there. It's just... I don't know. People are expecting to have all of these different things from Final Fantasy in it, which I never claimed it was going to have half the stuff. Again, it's purely mostly. It's mostly the gameplay and whatnot that Final Fantasy is. You'll see some of the characters, you see some of the, Espers, Aeons, whatever. Like, you see a drama like in Exodus and Ultima and Omega. Friggin' Omega. And you see spells like Ultima, Meteor, Flare. Oh god, Flare. Flare's like everywhere later in the game. Same with the Aga spells. Araga, Blizziga, Thundiga. You see all of those a lot too. And the game references a lot of other things. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. But it's like, why? The game doesn't need anything like airship or chocobo. The world map is not big enough and need any of that to begin with. And it just wouldn't make sense anyways. I mean, it's not like you have Dissidia stuff going on here. No, it's just Pandora. So, yeah. Now, he brings up graphics, which, again, should not be the priority of the reviews. I mean, come on, people. I'm not a spriter. I can't do anything about the sprites myself. I don't have a spriter. So I'm limited on what I can do. On top of that, he brings up, status sprites shrinking or characters disappearing. Which is due to me not having, again, a spriter. The original status spriter I had disappeared for like 6 months. And then I got a hold of him and he's like, nope, I'm not interested anymore. And then that was it. I had no more status spriter. Now, he says that the attack animations often appear a bit oversized compared to battle sprites. What do you expect? I mean, it's the orb. It's an orb. Do you expect it to be the same size as Reimu? Do you expect these giant icicles not to be giant icicles? Now, he also brings up something covering higher part of or the higher screen. That's generally what an AoE attack is. If it's an AoE, it's gonna be full screen. And he brings up sometimes they have a box around them. I'm trying to think of which ones. There's a couple, but there's not that many that have boxes, so I don't know what he's getting at there. And then we get to the most recent rant, which I posted yesterday. Where is it? It's just another person really saying I switched from 2K3 to DX Ace. I don't have to bring that back up. So yeah, that's basically it, really. It's just, again, it's like, well, the videos speak for itself longer, I mean. There's nothing else to really say. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I probably forgot some things here and there. Alright, one more thing. People griping about the music. Which I can actually understand, because it's like 1 gigabyte worth of music. That's a lot of music. My solution to that is I'm probably going to make a vanilla pack for people who don't want to download all of the music. And an extended pack, which will have all the current music. And you'll be able to switch between them in-game. So, that's my solution to that. And people complaining about the game being in multiple parts and not being one big file. Come on. MediaFire has 200 megabyte limit. I can't put all of the game in there with a 200 megabyte limit. It has to be split in 2 parts. And I think that the Beta 4 full version has everything with the music too. I don't know, it's been a long time since I uploaded it, so there's all of that. I apologize if you couldn't understand anything that I said, because I'm a terrible speaker. And again, I probably forgot some stuff here and there, but whatever. Leave your comments, I suppose, and I'll get back to them. And I hope that this answers or gives you insight on all of the stuff I don't know. I'm just gonna call it a video, and I'll see you guys later.